Alright guys, welcome to Kirai for Dummies. This is my second version of the first tutorial that I made a long time ago. Though the other one's outdated, it's pretty old, and also is pretty bad. So I'll be running over the same things with a little bit more details. Alright, so let's start with our moves and our damage caps. So 300 damage caps are 1, C, 1, and Z, which also gives us our first stock. 3 has a 300 damage cap. 5 doesn't have a damage cap. We usually use that as an ender after XX. XX5, and then we can combo that. And now we have all of our stocks. So 400 damage caps are C, and X, and X, and also guard break are 400. So let's get right into, as basic stuff, air tech. So jump cancel tech, so it's just ZZ jump ZZ. That's all you have to do. ZZ jump ZZ C ZZ. And if you want to improve that, you can ZZ V ZZ or air dash. Let's try that. ZZ. And that's all you have to do, just like that. Let's try that again. CZ jump dash. Move. That's all you have to do. Alright, now next. Let's see, our basic starter combo. So ZZ, ZZ, C, ZZ, 1, and then XX5 to slow them down and also get our third stock in there. After 5, you can dash forward and use 1, dash forward and use C if they don't expect it or they roll, or you can use guard break if they shield. Alright, now our other basic combo, C, Z, Z, 1, 6, X, 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 C, Z, Z, 6, 3. The reason I put 6 before 3 is so when I time it right, so when 3 lands and it's in knockdown position, all the swords can disperse and hit the dummy. Every sword dispersal does 70 true damage. So even though I like using SP8 for the cinematic and very cool for montages, SP6 is actually a lot better because it does more damage for the more daggers you hit, as well as being true damage. 8 only turns the current combo to 600 damage cap. It actually doesn't do true damage. SP6 does do true damage. And also SP6 costs no heat whatsoever, as well as having a very quick cooldown. So in general, you don't even want to touch your ults. SP7 is useless because it can be countered and backdashed by every single class, as well as SP8 being useless compared to SP6. Now obviously, obviously you guys want to know how to use our Kirai E move, which is Breakthrough. Breakthrough basically allows you to cancel end lag. So for example, if you whiff, you can press E and cancel that lag. Or for example, against shields, if you want to surprise a shielded opponent, you can do ZEZ. And chances are they'll try to counter it, but the second Z will probably catch them because you canceled your end lag early. So usually how this is used is on an SP3 down here. So what you do, C, Z, Z, 3, E, or X, I prefer X, or Z. C, Z, 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 1. And then you can all do that fancy jazz after you land all those moves. Alright, let's demonstrate that again. Oh, it's also signified by the red circle. You'll see C, Z, Z, 3, E, X, X, X. C, Z, 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 1. And I guess if you want to you can do turn back tech, like that. Basically, you do Z, 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 turn around, and they'll come flying back at you. Turn around after the third Z, and then they'll do that. So for example, you do stuff like that, or you actually can just use it as a reset. Use it as a reset, wait for them to recover, and then immediately pick them up. Also, Launcher is very useful. Launcher in 1 is actually very useful for resets. So for example, if I start with JAC and have a super low damage cap, what I can do, I can purposely drop the combo and pick them back up again, just like that. Because Air Z has a 150 damage cap, so it's really bad. So for example, if I start with that, if you look at my combo meter, it won't go above 150, see? Because I started with Air Z, so therefore my combo is pretty much garbage, and it's just a a heat feed at this point. So again, you can do ZZ, DZ dash C for a reset, the usual one if you want to reset in the air. Maybe you can try 5 dash C again. If you want, you can go for guard break. Stuff like that. And I missed. Well, that's most of Kirai, so that's the basics. As you all know, SP4 does SP4, so you should know what that does. Now, let's say the enemy is spamming block and waiting for you to use Z against it, so then you'll just get instantly countered. X can also be countered pretty easily too. Hello there, I don't know who you are. Anyways, so to counter this, what you can do, I mean, I guess you can SB6, but that would be a waste of stocks. So you can try using Air Z very slowly, and maybe they'll bait it out, and then X if you want to. See? If you do it carefully, you already get 3 hits on there. You can do that. Oh, just be careful not to do ground Z, because that would be deadly. You can Air X, just jump, JC, and you'll be usually pretty safe. Jump, JC, instantly retreat. JC, retreat. JC, JC. Oh, messed up there. You don't want to ground Z. Usually the most optimal is 2 Air Zs and then an X. Air X or ground X is just fine. And that'll mostly catch them. Or if they're noobs, you can just spam X on them. They'll get hit eventually. Z, Z, X, and then you can air dash again to do it again if you really want to. And that should handle most blocking. Just be careful, as a lot of enemies do have counters against this. And also, 1 is a great tool for catching people from the side if they don't expect it, especially when people are locked on. So sometimes you can just turn quickly and SP1 instantly, which is very useful for catching people off guard. However, the problem, some people expect this, and then, for example, they'll just shield against it, and you've got major end lag, and you'll just get punished to death. So be very selective and careful on how you do it. Also, don't raw Z. This just got tons of end lag. You'll die. You'll get punished. It's just a bad thing to do. And also, your SP2, I usually save it for escaping resets, but what you can do, you can jump and then 2 and Z, or you can immediately attack with X, or if you really want to, you can jump, teleport, and then come out with 1. But do be careful, because a lot of experienced players know how to counter this. So just be careful with your selective choosing. Oh, also one more reset you can use. You can do C, ZZ, ZZ, drop a bit, and then 1, and it'll be pretty difficult to escape that. Especially since Air Dash can counter. Air Dash doesn't have iframes. Stuff like that. And that should be most of the Kirai guide, yeah. Oh, also, another combo. What you can do, because SP5 puts them in knockdown state, you can do this. Oh, I messed up. Well, basically, if you disperse 6 at the right time with your SP5, they'll also be in knockdown state, similar to SP3. So the 6 will actually splay out. So let's try this again. Yeah, I don't know how to do it, but I know it works. Anyways, that should be most of the, yeah, that should be most of Kirai. I think I covered everything. Oh, this is SP4 if you're wondering. It counters projectiles, not magic. Notice it does not counter magic like Virtue Fire 4 or Earth 3, which is physical. It only counters projectiles. Just be noticeable. Oh, SP4 actually also counters Kirai swords. So if someone does that, you can use that as a bait. If they try to counter it, you can block, or you can release it. You can release it early. For example, let's say this dummy is trying to SP4, I can release it and then I hit them, because SP4 doesn't activate when those daggers stand still. So that's what you can do. If you really want to use SP8, as always, C, ZZ1, and use 8 right now, or you can do XX8, the usual stuff. But again, I don't recommend using SP8 unless it's for the flashy, because again, it just really isn't that good. And yeah, also don't use this move. It's hot garbage. Just please don't. Just don't ever use this move. It's absolutely garbage. You'll get countered left and right. And that should be it, really. So, guys, good luck with Kurai out there. Have fun.